We're going.
Woo, Ryan, guess what? It's show number 100.
Be good on make that kitty quiver. Just saying. Check this out.
Yes, Steve. Let's see your wiener.
Bless.
When you take your shirt off, does it match your chest hair?
You okay, Ryan?
It's a great start. So, even though you're a goddamn idiot, it's.
It says, you suck. What time is this over?
Well, Ryan, welcome to Thursday Night Barbecue Chat again. It's good to see you made it 2 weeks in a row.
Wow. I'm surprised, you didn't want to introduce everybody and say, hey, what's going on? And look at Ryan's white T-shirt.
Well, I was going to make a comment on it, Ryan, but you don't have a white T-shirt on today, or you have it pleasantly tucked in. Are we a go on all?
We are a go everywhere.
Anyway, there it is. I'm just getting to starting now. All right, everybody, it is another Thursday edition of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. I am Steve Kress. I am with Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, and during the week you can find me working the aisles at lovely, beautiful Wanamakers at downtown Downers Grove, Illinois. And a man sitting next to me, as always.
Not always. Majority of the time.
Oh, that's true. And 90% of the time.
I know, that's...
The one, the only, the chairman of the board, Barbecue, Blackstone, and Beer, Mr. Ryan Hoagland.
I don't get why the voice changes just to say my name. But we got Mr. Cleveland over on Instagram says, what's up? Cafe Realm says, hello, and always our good buddy Greg Snyder. Sarcasm much,
Steve. Greg.
That's right. It is Thursday night. Thursday Night Barbecue Chat starts right now. And you know what? We couldn't do Thursday Night Barbecue Chat without our amazing sponsors. And
we better do our sponsor.
Fat Boy Hickman's Barbecue. Backyard barbecue done right. Steak Ager. Next level dry aged steak at home. Spitfire Grills, built for serious fire. P&L Steaks Grilling Supply Company, gear for the grill life. Smoky Woods, real wood flavor for real barbecue.
Smoky Woods.
And Smoky Woods. Thanks to all our sponsors. And as everybody knows, we do talk about, you can go to Fat Cow Jerky and receive 10% off with BBQ Chat 10. And you can go to boarsnightout.com and use BBQ Chat 10 to get 10% off on Boars Night Out stuff only. What?
But who else can you get a discount on?
What was that? That was kind of creepy a little bit. But anyway, and you can go over to our good friend Kinsey Foods over there and use BBQ Chat 25 and receive 25% off your order at Kinsey Foods. He's got some great flavors, Brian. I'm so sad that you didn't get to taste them, but I tasted a whole bunch of them.
Yes, you're right. That's right.
I recommend the Dubai chocolate was really good. I recommend the espresso was super good. I like the sweet, and actually the jalapeno lime was pretty good myself. Those are the ones I've had.
I didn't get that one, did I?
Probably not.
No, I did. Maybe. I don't know. It's upstairs. I'm going through the pickle. I love the pickle one. The pickle one's my favorite so far. What? Are you okay?
I got like a shadow on my head.
Well, it's because you got to get a better light. You get some better light. That's why I can't wear a hat, because it like blocks, and then it's just hot.
Well,
but I don't think anybody wants to sit here and listen to us. Yeah, I'm wrong.
No, Ryan. So let's get to our guest today. We have a guest. She is as famous can be. She owns one of the most famous barbecue places in the country and definitely in the state of Illinois. She's learned everything from her dad, a legend in himself. And it's Amy Mills from 17th Street Barbecue.
I seen her in the green room taking a drink. I almost hit the button right when she was taking.
That would have been. Well,
I'll be nice. Hey, anyways, here she is.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you're welcome to the show again. I don't think I was here the last time you were.
She wasn't on this show. She was on.
I was on a daytime.
She was on the daytime. She was on Live from the Barbecue Department at Wanamakers, that defunct show that's now gone, and it has evolved into Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. But anyway, so Amy, how you been?
I've been great. How about you guys?
Well, I guess see Ryan every week, so that's a plus, I guess. So I mean,
There you go.
yeah. So
Well, I love how you're so sarcastic. You're like, really? Like, I'd rather just cancel this show and not have to do this. with
no,
Ryan.
because the guests are always on, so I like to see the guests.
Oh, okay.
So, Amy, I got to tell you, there's two things that made me think of you for a guest this week. Well, one, our other guest canceled, which is fine. But there's two things. One, I just got done, as we were talking in the green room, I just got done watching season 1 of not Pitmasters, Barbecue Brawl. If you want to watch a Barbecue Brawl, that is probably, so far, that is the best one I've seen. And two, I asked about your dad on the show with Brooke and Brad, and I have never, and everybody knows Brad. Brad is like probably the most wild, crazy, always happy, always. I have never seen Brad get so serious and so emotional as when he was talking about your dad. And I'm like, I got to have Amy on now to do the rebuttal end of that and have the Mills side of that, because that was just like, it just showed how much your dad had such an influence on these young barbecuers.
Yes. Well, my dad adored Brad, and they really had a special relationship, and he had a special relationship with so many people in the barbecue world. And he got no more joy than in mentoring and cheering on people who were up and coming. And so he really always got a kick out of Brad. And I'll never forget the first time he saw that standing pig that Brad has made so famous. And my dad tasted that and went back and talked to him later. And he said, that is the most beautiful pig I've ever seen in my life. And now if you can just get it to taste good, you're going to have a winner. And Brad took that to heart, and there you go. The rest is history. But I think part of what's beautiful about the barbecue world is the pure joy people have when they see their friends win. And I think that was an incredibly proud moment, obviously a hugely proud moment for Brad, but equally proud for my dad in a different way.
Well, you didn't see the first part of the question when I asked Brad that led into that. Unless you watched the show, you would have seen the whole thing. But when Brad and Brooke were first going to be on the show, I did research on him, and it just so happened that your dad was some TV show in Memphis was walking around, and your dad was like, "Oh wait, I want to show you one of the great young bucks up and coming in."
Yes,
it was Brad. So
yes.
My question to Brad was, I brought up that scenario, and I said, "Now, Brad, how does it feel all these years later that now you're in the Mike Mills role, and you guys are doing such a great job of mentoring?" I mean, they come on our show all the time, and by no means are we any kind of great show, but they come on all the time. They're great to everybody with the kids' cues and this and that, and they're always trying everything to pass that love of barbecue along, and that's what led into that answer. And it was just incredible.
Well, that was special. And that show was actually an episode of The Chew, and Michael Simon was the person that we were spending the weekend with and showing him around, and that he and my dad had such a special relationship too. And so that was extra special to introduce him to some of our favorite people in Memphis.
Oh, it was a good show. All right, well, let's get on to, cannot stop. So let's go. You can't start 17th Street Barbecue, obviously, without talking about your dad. How was it growing? I mean, when did you actually realize that your dad was something special in barbecue? I mean, he was just your dad.
Exactly. It took me a long, long time. I always say, I ran fast and furious from Murfreesboro and from this world. And I went away to college. I lived my adult life in Boston. And I really didn't circle back. I thought, these barbecue people were all just a little bit strange. And it wasn't until I was grown and spending a little bit more time back here as an adult, trying to bring my children home and, showing them a different part of the world and a different part of the country. And I realized that those people were kind of interesting after all. And that's actually when I came up with the idea to write Peace, Love, and Barbecue, because I realized what a unique subculture in America that we have with our barbecue family. And so there really wasn't a book that captured those stories in that spirit. And so that's how I came up with the idea to write the book.
Nice. And then when did the restaurant officially, how long has it been going down there?
So we are 41 years old, starting our 41st year in July. So 1985 is when it started. And, it's really been a fixture. We're the fourth owners of this restaurant. It used to be a bar before we owned it. It started in 1925. Wow. But in addition to it being a bar that only men were in, there was always a barbecue sandwich and a hamburger served there. And when I was little, you couldn't go in because just for the guys, but there is a residential doorbell and a little drive-through window, and it's still like this today. There's no menu, there's no speaker. You have to ring the doorbell to let someone know you're there, but you could take home bags of burgers or barbecues, and that would be a treat. When I was little, it used to be called Allen Ray's at that time. And then when my dad bought it in 1985, he renamed it 17th Street, and he added a kitchen and really just started cooking food he loved as well as barbecue.
Steve, you were 35 when that opened then?
Pardon?
Who, me?
Steve, weren't you like 35 years old when that opened?
No, I was not, Ryan. I was 1985. I was a grand old. I was graduating junior high, Ryan.
So I just trying to give you a hard time.
I know you always try to. So, what made him want to jump into the restaurant game, though?
Well, my dad was a dental technician by trade, and he barbecued though always. His dad was a barbecuer. He worked for the Palmolive Peat Company, selling soap suds and cigarettes. All over Western Kentucky, Southern Illinois, and Southeast Missouri. But at night and on the weekends, he barbecued, and he would dig a hole and have a very rudimentary pit. My dad's job would be to take his little wheelbarrow and pick up sticks and logs from all around the yard and the environs. And, that was his help. But he and my grandmother had a barbecue sauce that they came up with in the 1930s. And my grandfather's dream was to quit that job and bottle and sell the barbecue sauce. Sadly, he died when my dad was 7. And so my dad's 2 older brothers were 18 and 19. My grandmother had children ranging from 19 to 6 months old when her husband died. And the 2 brothers had a barbecue stand at the swimming pool in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. They actually moved to Murfreesboro when my dad was 6 months old. But during high school, my dad would make barbecue pits out of 50-gallon barrels and sell them to make extra money. My grandmother, when she was widowed, would continue to make that barbecue sauce and decant it into sterilized glass mayonnaise and ketchup jars and sell it to friends and neighbors. Never when I was little did I go to her house without bringing home a jar of that barbecue sauce. So really, people would bring my dad meat, and he would barbecue for your class reunion, or he made food all the time. He was always cooking. And of course, my family, everyone is a cook, and we have always eaten very well and enjoyed big family parties. We know to eat only from our plates at the church potluck suppers. But he and a group of friends started our barbecue contest in 1987 as an economic driver. Our little town was really drying up. A lot of the stores downtown had closed. And one of his friends saw a barbecue contest in Crothersville, Missouri, and said, Mike, this would be right up your alley. We should think about doing this. And they knew that people would come to our town. They would stay in the hotel. They'd fill up their tank with gas. They'd go to the grocery store or the hardware store for whatever they forgot. And it would just be a way to bring other people's money into our town. Very quickly, they realized they needed to have a team so they could go out on the circuit and meet teams and talk to them about Murfreesboro. At this time, there wasn't even the National Barbecue News. You really only had word of mouth to talk about these contests and to figure out how you're going to sign up for them. And very quickly, they started winning, and they got their first grand champion on their 5th contest, which then got them into Memphis in May. So the 6th contest they ever cooked was Memphis in May, at a time when you had to win your way in. And then, they really made history and started breaking all the records. They got the first perfect score ever. They were the first team above the Mason-Dixon line to win. The next day, the headline on the Memphis Commercial Appeal said, "What's the world coming to when a bunch of Yankees beat you at your own game in your own backyard?" And then, of course, they won world grand champion overall. And so that just set them on this trajectory that was pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely not where I was at for my fifth competition.
I haven't even done my first. So, well, I know I did the steak competition. I did the steak at the shed. So, I mean, I don't know if I could do that. But I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And I think I remember you saying that barbecue sauce did that become Mike's original? From the last time you were on the show, that became Mike's original. And by the way, all the 17th Street barbecue products are on the shelf at Wanamaker's at 1940 Ogden Avenue in Downers Grove, Illinois. We got the Magic Dust, we got the Little Kick, we got the Apple City Red, and Mike's original. Come on in.
We're proud to be there. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Ryan, do you got a question?
No, I was just gonna say, I think last week I accidentally deleted the Wanamaker's address. I need to recreate it. Because usually I'm pretty good at popping it up there when you say it. Anytime you say it, I get there.
Thanks, Ryan.
I got to get it back on there. But anyways, we got happy pepper powders in here saying happy here. My good buddy Ken Repke says what's up. How Ann is here from the smoke.
Ann Neal from the smoke.
Hi, Ann.
Greg said we froze, but Mr. Terry White's in here, and then Andy Wilson from Black Sun Videos is in here as well.
So when did you get in? When did you come back fully to the restaurant? I guess because I know you went away, but when did you come back and get involved with the whole restaurant and barbecue thing?
So in 2000, I started doing just sort of part-time. I was remote before remote was a thing. I still lived in Boston. I mean, I really lived in Boston, up until the end of 2016. But I wrote our book from there. I really focused on marketing, which as long as I had a computer and FedEx and a cell phone, I could pretty much work from anywhere. So I would work from Boston. I came home every 6 weeks or so, or just met up with our team anywhere in the country where we were doing events. We were at that time starting to help Danny Meyer open Blue Smoke. So I was back and forth in New York a lot. The Big Apple Block Party started happening. So that would be a yearly thing. So really just, tons of barbecue travel and being connected remotely. I started writing the book. Our first book was published in May 2005, and I started working on that book in 2003. So that was something that actually required a lot of travel because we went and chatted with all the people who are featured in the book. Those are personal sit downs and chats working on that book. But then I came back here full time at the end of 2016 when my dad's health was failing.
That's too bad. I mean, I wish we came back on better circumstances, but yeah.
I know.
But
I'm glad that I still got to be here. I feel like I got 4 more good years out with him.
That's great. And then, did you learn how to cook at all?
Oh yeah. Do you think I can't cook?
No, I was just curious. I mean, because it's just like, Dad was he's the legend, and just like, I mean, if you're not interested in it, you're not interested. But I was just curious if you picked up. I mean,
no, I'm very interested in it. I'm very interested in it.
Excellent. I figured you were, but I just was checking because some kids like to just fly the nest and then it's barbecue. I don't want to do it.
Oh no. I'm very interested.
So,
I apparently need to put out more pictures of myself cooking.
Well, I mean, I don't have any pictures of me cooking either, but but I don't cook, Ryan.
One time, yeah.
Yeah, one time. Well, Ryan always shows my burger. But then you opened another. You got the other restaurant. You opened a second restaurant in Murfreesboro.
Yes.
And what's the basis behind that one?
So when I came back here, really is in 2014, we started talking about building a barbecue sauce co-packing factory. And the building that we bought to house that factory is around the corner. We have 7 businesses in 2 blocks here. That building actually faces our main street, which is called Walnut Street in Murfreesboro. And it was the oldest car dealership in our town. In 1916, it sold Essex and Hudson automobiles. And that building was also destroyed, all but one wall, by the tri-state tornado on March 18th, 1925, and it was rebuilt. But then when we bought the building, it had been in disrepair for a long time. We really had to rebuild the building. And the front part of it, which would be the dealership showroom with windows all around, a very old-fashioned looking showroom, which had no windows. We had to build new windows or install new windows too. But that is now a coffee shop. So it's coffee, breakfast, brunch, and gourmet groceries. And it's named Faye after my grandmother and my daughter. So it's a nod to the feminine side of my family. But when I came back here, I definitely needed some good coffee. I do love coffee, and I would jokingly say that they serve coffee water here. There's not a lot of coffee that I wanted to drink. And so my dream was to have that coffee shop. And it's really a beautiful space. I was, 17th Street, 41 years in, all we can do is keep that polished and beautiful and, looking like it always looked.
Right.
But Faye was an opportunity to build a brand from the ground up. So it was really fun to work on the graphics and just, to work on the whole thing. It's really a special space, and it has an outdoor patio. It's also rentable for events, and it's just daytime. So it's a biscuit based, very small menu, but it's just an opportunity to have a little fun over there.
You got
We should do
biscuits
a
and
Thursday
gravy.
night barbecue. We should rent out the space for a Thursday night barbecue chat show live on.
There you go. Come on down.
I got to get down to that. It's another
No,
competition.
dude, I don't know how many years we've been saying, Steve, that we need to get down there.
Are
Well,
you guys
I just-
certified judges?
I was. I'm not. I haven't kept up just because I've kind of gotten out of it a little bit.
But you could just pay your dues and then you'd be certified again, right?
Correct.
We are desperate for some judges because we are imminently in 1 month having our 39th annual Praise the Lard Murfreesboro Barbecue Cook-Off tri-sanctioned event. And we are a qualifier for the $1 million payout event that will happen in April. And so we have we've sold out in 24 hours, which we did not expect at all. That's caused its own set of issues. But we now need a lot of judges because so many people are cooking the dual contest.
Ooh.
Because each winner will get an entry into that contest.
There's your opportunity, Ryan.
I think what is it? $45 to enter for the year.
Well, to renew your dues.
My CBJ.
Yeah, it's a pittance. If you are doing this and you're in barbecue, you should already be certified. You should already be
Ryan.
a dues paying member.
No
No pressure.
I used to compete, and then I got into the judges, and then I got myself associated with Blackstone, and started my own competition that hasn't taken off. Nothing like yours, but I've kind of gotten out of the barbecue side, and I do a lot more flat top cooking than I do barbecue.
Well, you can come down here with your expert palate, and we'll put you to work.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
That's got to go. That clip right there, Steve, has to go into the
we'll see.
right now.
Well, Amy, you started talking about a question I was going to ask you when you brought up the Praise the Lard, because I remember that whole kick and caboodle that happened in January or whatever, because I come on and all of a sudden it's like the world's coming to an end, because how the heck can I've been going for blah, 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 and I've been going for this, and I've been going for that, and it was all over. I mean, I felt sorry for you because I'm just
Thank you. I felt sorry for me too.
I mean, it's just like, and there were defenders out there. It's just like, no, Amy didn't expect. I mean, nobody expected this to be that way.
Did not expect that. And for the past few years, oddly, we have been selling out earlier and earlier. There used to be a time when a few local people would come in the week of and say, "Hey, I'm here to pay my due," to pay, earlier and earlier, because we are a popular contest, which we appreciate so much. But I really just had no clue that would happen. And I would say I'll have to look, but a huge number of these are new teams. And you have to have new teams and old teams. You don't want all old, because then via attrition, you will start dying. So you always need that mix of new and old. But obviously there's some people who did not get in. There's some people who we tried to call and say, we recognize we want to get you in. And they were so rude to our staff that he finally said, he wouldn't even let him speak. So there are some people who missed out because they couldn't listen.
People gotta understand.
Sorry, not sorry.
It's a lot to put on these competitions and contests and everything like that, and it helps. I mean, good for you to have that problem where it sells out so fast, right? On the other hand, with my griddle battle, trying to get people to sign up, it's like, come on, hello,
No. Well, we've had years like that too, so don't mistake. For sure, we have, and it's a challenge, and we have it kind of down to a science now. A main reason that we are even still here 39 years later is because we've taken it over as a company. So I think when contests are one person or a little committee, or it's the Elks Club or some chamber of commerce, people lose interest, or there just aren't enough people to do the thing. So it really just folds into our day. And now we're in crunch time. We're 1 month out, so but we start working on this in January. We definitely learned some lessons, and there will be a little bit of a different procedure. We also did email everyone from the previous year and say, this is going live, and you have 48 hours to get your entry in.
I don't think anybody, and a lot of people were saying, I mean, nobody expected. Now that it was part of the Barbecue World Cup, there was added extra attention than normal to the contest, that people wanted their chance to win $1 million, and they wanted to get it. This was another qualifying opportunity. Plus, it's one of the granddaddies of barbecue. I mean, and that just added to it. I mean, you guys, like you said, you sold out faster than you probably have in years. And
this never happened ever. No. And what I hope the World Cup is a huge success, and that it keeps going, and that we'll have an opportunity to do it a different way the next time. But here we are. But
still, I mean, I've had a bunch of people on the show, and the Praise the Lard competition is one of the, I know Heath Riles, who was on last week, I've had him on in the past, and he says that's one of the competitions that he always tries to make if he can make it, just out of respect for your dad and the competition and everything that it just means barbecue. So, I mean, you guys have built a competition that's surprising. I mean, it's in a little small town in Southern Illinois. It's not Memphis in May. It's not the American Royal, but it just has that barbecue feel to it that everybody wants to be at.
Yeah. And, it really does draw the best of the best. I mean, people leave here, and a week later, Brian Dwyer won the Royal. Leave here 2 weeks later, Darren Worth wins the Jack. We have had people who won our contest, and that was their entry into the Jack. Their bung was drawn as the Illinois winner from our contest. So we are definitely a feeder into these other contests, and you can really, meet and rub shoulders with and get to know the best of the best right out front of our restaurant and our warehouse facility.
Now, did you build a special park for the if I'm trying to remember correctly, but didn't you build a whole?
Well, we have always owned that piece of property, and we built a park years ago, and the railroad ran right through there. And so 2020, the nicest thing that happened to us during COVID is that the railroad needed to remediate the soil. And so they dug 8 feet of soil off this, I don't know how many acres this is. And they wanted to pave the whole thing. And I said, oh no, you don't understand. I need those light poles. People have certain trees that they love. Like, that's my spot. I always park under that tree. And so they built it back for us with, buried electricity and beautiful landscaping. And excuse me, it's really a beautiful property. And then of course we go all around our warehouse building. We're on the side streets. We actually have also, I should add, we added 10 or 12 spots to our contest this year. Oh, we do have a waiting list, and we've been working down the waiting list because a few people have dropped out. So that's allowed us to add a few people back in, which is great. But it's super special. It's just very down home fun. We have a stage, and we'll have two bands on Friday night. It's a big gathering spot. People love walking up and down and meeting the teams and just taking in the sights. And we have so many people in our town who volunteer as ambassadors, and they've gotten to know these teams over the years. So it's just really a homecoming in so many different ways.
What are the exact dates of the?
It's the 24th to 26th. So the 24th is a Thursday, and that night is a big fish fry that we hold for all of our sponsors. And it's just a ticketed event for the general public. And we have a fish and wing ancillary contest that night. Then Friday, we have a big grand champion buffet, again, for sponsors and people in town. And after that, people sort of spill out into the street, and the band is playing. And the steak contest is that night. We have a double header steak contest. So that happens Friday night. We're known for our swag baskets. We have these bushel baskets from a local orchard, and she fills them with 5 pounds of apples. We have delicious apples grown and peaches grown here in Southern Illinois. And then it's just filled with all kinds of good stuff, no junk in there. And it takes 2 people in a wagon usually to come and pick up your swag bag, your basket, and take it back to your space.
Nice. Do the Ann's got a comment there, right? Yeah.
There's nothing like Crazy Lard, such a special place.
Oh, well, Ann and Brian are fixtures, and they do the Lucky Beer Toast at 10 a.m. And if you look at our Facebook page, soon I'm going to post last year's toast. Always a tearjerker, always a salute to my dad, and it's really super special. We gather right out at the Midway at 10 o'clock, and Brian and Ann delivered this beautiful spoken word toast that is
They are. And in tribute to your dad and his mentoring and giving back, Ann and Brian they do their barbecue rib classes now in Indiana. They've had a great career, and they're still doing it, but they're starting where they're giving back, and they want to instruct, and they want to get people excited about barbecue. And I sensed that was a huge thing with, like you said, with your dad, as far as making sure barbecue was always going, that they're another example of that, passing barbecue along. So kudos to you, Brian and Ann, for being such great barbecue ambassadors. So, well, I just want to let everybody know that we really are thankful that Amy is here tonight. She is hosting an event right now as she's on the show. So she is probably multitasking as we are on the show. So God bless you. Thank you very much again for being with us. If
it's an honor. It's an honor.
Wow. It's an honor, Ryan.
And you said earlier, Steve, that it's not the greatest show. It is the greatest show that nobody watches.
It is the greatest show that nobody watches. So
I want to get back to this one too. My good buddy Andy, we were talking about the events and putting them on and stuff like that. And he's like, sometimes people forget that the people helping are typically volunteers and work much more than just the event. So, I mean, it's definitely
Absolutely.
not, that we couldn't do without the volunteers. Yeah, I'm a one-man person trying to get my stuff going, but yeah, it's not easy.
So just a couple more, and then Jesus, I got Ann and Amy in my head. And then we'll let you get back to your event. But what made you want to do what pushed you to do your own bottling? Because that's kind of something different than, I mean, it's kind of like a different progression that most people have other people do their stuff. And I know you probably did for years, but what made you
We did.
what made you want to do your
Our sauce
own?
never tasted the same when somebody else made it. And, most co-packers start with tomato paste, and you'll say, I use Heinz ketchup and French's mustard and whatever. And they'll say, this is our recipe for ketchup and our recipe for that mustard. And by the time they've used their recipe for all of those branded goods, it tastes nothing like yours anymore. We also had an opportunity to be in Whole Foods, and we needed to take out the preservatives out of our sauce. So this whole perfect storm was happening, and we left our co-packer. We brought our sauce back in house, and we expected our factory to be open much earlier, much sooner than it was. We were hand packing for way longer than we anticipated. But I was also looking for another revenue stream, something that was not a restaurant. And through our On Cue classes, which is our, business of barbecue, catering masterclass, and whole hog extravaganza, so many people were having trouble finding co-packers they liked working with. And so we thought, we can be this co-packer people like. I first thought we could do small batches, and we can do smaller batches. However, the small batches are very expensive. So, you can't send somebody off with a $10 bottle of sauce. There's definitely an economy and scale. But we, I just thought that we could do a better job, certainly than the place that we had been using at that time. So that is definitely a part of our business that we're really excited about, and that is, year over year growing and growing.
And do you do a lot of other people's? I mean, have you taken on a lot of other sauces?
A fair amount. I mean, we still have room in our production schedule, but it's slowly but surely filling up. I've learned that business has a long tail. Like, you could call me today and say, I want to bottle my sauce, and it might be a year before you really pull the trigger. And then there are some people who have a restaurant, they're ready to go, and it all happens very quickly. So it's definitely like a sales funnel of, you never know how interested, or if people really have the money, or they really have the outlet for the sauce. People who are in the restaurant business and have an immediate use for it, it goes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I see good for you for not, taking the co-packer that changes everything and not just trying to put something out there that it's not your original taste. Because you'll see a lot of people that are doing it just for the money. Like, let's get it out there, let's just do it. So
yeah.
Good job for you for, keeping it to the original flavor.
Well, thanks. I mean, we wanted to taste good, and
yeah,
we were still having to make it ourselves to use in the restaurant, and then buying these other bottles to sell, and there was just a disconnect there.
Yeah, I could see that. Somebody tastes it in the restaurant, and then if they find it somewhere else, it doesn't taste the same.
Doesn't taste the same, exactly.
Yeah, they're not going to go back and buy it again. I mean, if you taste something somewhere and you want it to taste the same, and you go and it's not, you're never going to buy it again.
And we'll use branded products. We have people who, will send certain things in to us. We're very, very flexible. So.
Wow, look at Bandits Barbecue.
How long has this channel been airing? Thank you from Arlington, Texas.
Wow, thank you, Arlington, Texas. Thursday Night Barbecue Chat is probably, I think we went on the air, Ryan, my memory, I can't remember a lot of things, but for some reason, I think it was August of 2023 was our first episode. So if you go search, I see you're on YouTube. If you go search through YouTube on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, you will see all, including this one, you'll see all 141 episodes will be on there. So you can see how we've evolved from our very simple beginnings to even simple here at the end. But we have a little more graphics and a little more fun. But yeah, so it's I guess it is our anniversary. Hey, how about that?
Anniversary. Look at that.
Look at Amy.
Yeah, I was trying to calculate back.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. I think it was right about this time of year. I'd have to go back and
Well,
look.
you figure out, you're what, 50, 52, 100. Oh, 2 years, 3 years.
It was 2023. I mean, you got to remember we take a lot of months off of we miss episodes and
Yeah. So we try to stay consistent every week, but come on, I just
come join us. And if you got a question for Amy, feel free to ask. I mean, if it's about 17th Street BBQ, it's about Praise the Lard. If it's about packing sauces, feel free to ask. She's even been a judge on the Barbecue Brawl, for crying out. What other shows have you done? Because I know I've seen you on other shows, but what other ones have you been on?
Well, I've been very fortunate to be on lots of shows. The first show I was on was called Best in Smoke, and that was a really fun series. And Brad and Brooke were on that show. So that was in 2009, maybe.
Wow.
It was a Food Network show. That show also had some real powerhouse people. Famous Dave was on that show. Chris Hart and John Delfa from IQ. They won the Jack a couple years after that. Trying to think of who else was on that show. Chris Lilly was on that show as a cook. I was a judge along with Tim Love from Fort Worth, Texas, Lonesome Dove, and Mitchell Davis from the James Beard House.
Wow.
So that was such a crazy, it's all coming back to me. We were in Long Island City filming out in this field, and they would say, okay, now we're getting on the bus and we're going to the baseball stadium and you're going to cook for the private club. And then we're going to go to Broadway and you're going to cook for the cast of Mamma Mia. And now we're going to Battery City Park and you're going to start a food cart in the park. It's really crazy, very crazy challenges for them. We ran all over that city.
And what was that one called again?
It was called Best in Smoke.
Best in Smoke. I got to look that. I got to find some of those.
It was good.
And then what does it say? Kent Rollins is my favorite cook from Chuckwagon. I do like Kent Rollins. I've been trying to get Kent on the show. He's a little tougher to get on. And what ended up coming next after?
So after that, Chopped.
You got ahead of me, Steve.
Look at that.
You got a great picture of Ryan.
Sorry, I grabbed it as quick as I could. But.
Yeah, so the girl, couple of different Chopped episodes. Kingsford did a show that was called the Kingsford Invitational, and we did that 3 or 4 times. Once was on an aircraft carrier, which was really cool. We did the very first one was out at a Kingsford plant in Bell, Missouri, but they invited different people, so it was not a but it was a television show. It was on I forget the channel, Destination America. It aired on Destination America. So it was just a one episode. I have been on Fire Masters, which is on the Cooking Channel. So multiple of those. And I actually cooked on 2 of those. So that was a show where you're a judge, but then they would pick a judge to actually compete against the person who won all the other challenges.
How'd you do?
That was, I won one and I lost one. And you know what? The one that I lost, I was so happy that I lost because that person, he just had my heart. He was so good. He did such a tremendous job. So I was happier to lose, never happy to lose, but happier to lose to him, to let him have that moment because he was really special.
What do you think's easier, being on TV or cooking and working at the restaurant?
Well, there are 2 different kinds of hard things.
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, I don't know. A restaurant. I have relatives. I through Trisha, my girlfriend, I have relatives that own restaurants, and I'm blessing to anybody who owns a restaurant, because I think it's
right now is very, very tough in the restaurant world. It is not easy right now. It is not easy to be a protein-based business. Food costs are off the charts. Employee issues are off the charts. There's a lot happening in our world right now. I thought COVID was bad. This might be a little worse, but we will power through.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. I mean, you just got to keep moving, find a way to make it work. It's just it becomes that harder balance of keeping everything priced for the consumer of it to where you're making money and you're making enough money to cover what you have to do and make some money, and then not be too expensive that people don't. I mean, because I do it at the store too. It's like you're pricing things, and it's like, well, I really need this, but can I go there? If I go there, is anybody going to buy it? Then so it's like it's even in the retail, it's just goofy with all the different costs go up today. Then there get the shipping, and shipping goes crazy. There's just so many factors in there. Everything.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So
definitely a challenge.
All right, Ryan, you got any other questions? It's been 45 in. We're gonna let Amy get back to her. I really appreciate. I didn't realize you really freaked me out when you said you were stepping away from an event. And I'm like, oh my god! It's like we can reschedule.
We have a tremendous team. I would just be floating. It's all good.
Oh, what? Somebody's got. Black would read that comment.
So, restaurants having to move to the cost of to-go orders and DoorDash, etc. I don't know how it is done with cost margins so small.
You do a lot. Do you guys have a lot of that? The DoorDash
in Southern Illinois, there is DoorDash here, and they put us on their site without permission, and I told them to take us off. So we don't do any of that.
Yeah.
But luckily, I think to survive, you really have to have a lot of revenue streams happening. So right now we're sitting in our warehouse facility. It's 30,000 square feet. We have 2 event rooms. So I have 340 people in this other room for an event. We do a lot of catering, lots of bulk orders. You can't always just make it in a town of 7,000 people with just what walks in your door. You really do have to be creative and have a lot of things going on.
No, I totally. I got to ask you a question, and now we're going to lead down. Well, he's got a happy pet. Do they
supply their own meat products
for the contest? Maybe yes. People bring all their own meat.
Yeah,
except for the steak. We give them the steaks.
I got a question for you on the DoorDash part of it. Since you don't do it, but I'm sure you've looked into it. What does the restaurant actually get out of a DoorDash? I mean, how much are you paying for DoorDash to basically sell your product?
I don't know what the percentage is, but it's more than you would ever make. But what was happening with us is that their call center is overseas. So this person who doesn't know your menu or can't really speak very well calls in and places an order, misspeaking your menu items, and then they weren't coming to pick it up for an hour, 2 hours. So your food is degrading, and then it's your fault when it's not good. And sometimes they never picked it up at all. So then it was just a waste. So very quickly, and again, we weren't paying anything because they just put us on there because people asked for it. So they weren't charging us. They just all of a sudden started calling in these orders, and we're thinking, what's happening here?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'll say being because I drive for Uber and I do DoorDash as well too. I did talk to a restaurant that they take whatever your prices are and they raise it a couple bucks, and then they pay the service charge on top of that. And for the people that are ordering DoorDash, you guys have to realize that that's our own vehicle, it's our own personal property that we're driving to pick up your food. And you say that the food sat there and stuff like that. Well, whoever probably ordered it didn't tip on it or anything. You're providing a service and they're not giving you extra for your service.
Right.
So that's why people, when it comes in, it's like, I'm not driving 20 minutes for $3.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. It's just not something that is in rural America. I don't think that's taken off
Well, and I just think to Amy's point of it is, I mean, obviously it's 17th Street Barbecue. You have a reputation to protect as far as the quality of your food, the taste of your food, this, and if it's going to get ordered and it's going to sit for 20 minutes, and then, I mean, that person's going to get there and be like, oh, I thought the 17th was good. This is like, it's like, well, yeah, because it sat forever. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a control as to how you want your food to come out and be presented to people. We're not something that, it's been sitting waiting for a driver to come pick it up for 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
And then the driver just takes his time and sits there and the quality of everything goes down. But yeah, and Andy said the same thing. Restaurants increase their menu price to compensate, but then the cost is too much that they won't order or find savings in the tip. So yeah, I get it. It's there. It's
do that one question for Greg to Amy, and then we'll let Amy go because I know it's getting close.
Amy, what do you think about live fire contests?
Oh, I think they look like a ton of fun.
There you go, Greg.
Yeah, perfect.
Quick
I think they look fun too. I want.
All right.
But
I don't want to.
As soon as you said you had 340 people next door, I'm like, oh my god, he's got to go.
They're not
Amy's
missing me. Please don't worry.
You're good. No, we can let you go because we're getting close to the end of the hour, and this way you can get back. I appreciate. We got to have you back on. I'm working on a show, and possibly Amy might be involved in that show as well. So we'll see.
I think that show sounds like so much fun.
It might be. She might be here down the road. Good luck on Praise the Lard. I unfortunately am going to be in Indianapolis for a hardware trade show, which now I'm maybe I might want to miss the trade show and go to Praise the Lard because it's my weekend off. Of course, I finally
Ryan, you can come down.
Judge.
Pay your fee and be a judge, Ryan. That would be how much good what you're gonna be tasting so much good barbecue.
What day is that? The
25th.
So that would be the 26th.
26th.
That part of the contest would be the 26th. You're in Chicago. Are you in Chicago?
Yeah.
I'm right outside Aurora.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You could get Andrew Bloom, our Wichita packing guy, who we buy all of our ribs from Andrew. We think they're the best. He always comes down. Maybe you can grab a ride with him.
There you go, Ryan. See, they could even get.
I get some carpooling for you.
Yeah,
She's even got carpet. She's even got your carpet. She really wants you to be a judge.
Oh,
wow, Todd Toven's actually on the show.
So shout out to Ryan. Booyah! All right, Amy, thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. It was so much fun to chat with everybody. Thank you to all the people who tuned in. I know I'll see Ann, and I hope I see some other people here
in about a month.
Soon, in a couple weeks. Yeah,
a couple weeks. Well, good luck. Good luck to the whole thing. I hope it goes well. I hope that the Barbecue World Cup doesn't throw anything into a little tiffy, but I think it'll all work out. And
no, we have people coming from California to New York, Massachusetts, Virginia. So we are coast to coast, and Minnesota down to Texas. So we really have a neat field of people coming. Yeah.
God, I get a whole nother. I gotta ask the question. What did your dad as obviously became when he saw so many people coming from across the country coming to this competition that he created all those years ago? I mean, was it kind of like, holy cow? I never thought that week
is like Christmas for my dad. It is his favorite week of the year by far. He loved it. Loved sitting in here, and he would be here early in the morning, and people would know to come in and have a cup of coffee with him, and he would just loved walking up and down the Midway and meeting and greeting. It really just made him super, super proud.
I'm sad I never got to meet him.
I'm sad too, because he was one of a kind.
Yeah, I mean, because I even had when he passed, I had a customer came in, and because you guys used to do the Windy City Smokeout, and he was this customer was volunteering with Operation Barbecue Relief down there, and he happened to be walking by the 17th booth, and they were handing out, they had extra ribs or whatever it was, and your dad just sat right with him and talked to and talked to him, and then he was getting ready to leave, and your dad's like, "Oh, you want a rack to go?" I mean, because they were just he was just like, I couldn't believe it. He just gave me a rack of ribs to go, So, but I just wish I got to meet him. Anyway, we'll let you get on to your event, and thank you again for very much. Hopefully will be reaching out to you soon about if I can get this a date and figure out if I can get all these moving pieces to come into a show.
We would
so I think
love
it'd be
it.
a fun show. All right, thank you, Amy.
Thank you again so much. It was a pleasure, and I'll look forward to sharing any clips or anything you have to share from this. So let me know.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye, Amy.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, Ryan, that was Amy Mills from 17th Street BBQ. The barbecue capital of Illinois is Murfreesboro. I really want to get there.
To have an event going on and still take the time out to come and hang out with us for an hour.
Yeah, well, she's special. They're special. Yeah. She's special. Because I know I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't concentrate with having that. And I mean, they're pretty important. I mean, I guess in the world of things, they're pretty important people that were there that she came in here for. So that's pretty good. Well, and Ryan's, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just what it was. I mean,
yeah. Griddles and Vittles came in here at the end and says, "What's up?" Todd came back in and says, "Hey, everyone. Schmidt told me to tell y'all hi." And barbecue bandits, our skies are full of smoke from 85,000 burning out there.
Wow.
Steve,
oh yeah, they got Wi-Fi.
You're down in Indiana. Indianapolis is Happy Pepper Potter's hometown.
It is your hometown. Yeah, I'm heading down. Obviously, Wanamaker's is their cooperative is Do It Best Hardware, and every year they have that's where I go and I buy stuff for the springtime.
I don't know what was missed, but Andy said, "What do you have against Indy?"
Oh, I don't have anything against Indy. It's just that it. Here's how it always works for Steve. At Wanamaker's, I work every other weekend, so I'm on a full weekend, and then the next weekend I'm off. Almost every time there's a competition, it is my weekend to work. So when Amy was telling the dates for the Praise the Lard, I went and I looked, and lo and behold, that's the day I'm going to Indianapolis. We'll be back on Saturday, but of course, that's also the weekend of Praise the Lard. So again, a competition that I wanted to go to, and I have to work. So it's just how it always works out.
Yeah.
I love Indy. Actually, Indy is probably when I have a great time down in Indy when I'm down there. I love the restaurant. They got a great little around the stadium and convention center. They got a lot of great little restaurants and stuff like that. I enjoy going down it's one of my favorite things to do. I just wish it wasn't on the same weekend as Praise the Lard, because I could have probably actually gone this year.
Yeah. But I know you were talking about, you brought up OBR, and, I tell you what, I had a great time on Sunday.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And actually, I want to say, Ryan, I'm proud of Ryan. Vito, our buddy Vito, he went, and there was somebody else.
Saturday?
He was out I went Tuesday. I think he went Wednesday, and then you went Sunday.
I went Sunday. Steve Iannarone was out there. Claudio was out there. Larry, I always mess up his last name. Mush. Larry Mush. Mush. Was
Larry,
out there.
Mr. Larry Tate.
He lives. He was 7 miles from his house, so he was out there all the time. And
yeah, Larry's
some pictures and stuff like that I'm getting ready to put out. But no, it was a great experience, and it was fun to go out there. And you think that you're just going out. But first, you get there and you get out and you start cooking and stuff like that, and you're preparing all the food and everything, and you don't really realize how much you're actually doing. And I think like Sunday alone, it was like 3,700 total meals served that day. So that was awesome. Like almost 36,000 for the whole event, which was great. But it didn't, we had a lady came up and was just almost in tears and thanking us for our time out there and what we were doing and everything like that. And it didn't really hit me until then, because a lot of it, you're just packing the food, so you're not really seeing the people. I wasn't working the front line or anything. And they did have a food line there, so I seen a little bit of it, but they had 2 or 3 Boy Scout troops that came out and took care of the food line. But yeah, it was, when she came around and hugged us all and everything, it was like, wow. you don't really you don't really realize what you're doing until it pops up and it hits you. I had to actually go and sit down for a second because I was like, wow, it was a lot. But it was great.
It's the grand scale of I mean, we have there's always a thing, with the bigger deployments, and it happened on my first one. And I had to work the food. We didn't have Boy Scouts the day I went, so I had to actually work the food line, and it was the first time I have been at the end process in a really long time, probably since 2018, just because I have experienced that part of it. And depending on who you get at the time and what customers, what people come through, there's a whole range of emotions that go with. I mean, some people are okay with it, that what happened, obviously some of the hurricanes being, where they're a little bit more devastation, but being without power for 2 weeks is devastating in itself. You get the blank stares, you get that you can tell people are just going through the motions type of things. And Ryan's exactly right. And then you go through the whole, I went through the whole first deployment, and it was like, yep, because you're constantly you're making food, you're doing this, you're handing out food, you're doing this, you're going to blah, blah, blah. It didn't really get me. And then, like you said, towards the end, when I drove to go home, I can literally honestly say, I probably cried for like the first 10 minutes after I left the camp, because it was just, like Ryan says, as soon as you have time to sit and regroup and actually think of what you just did, and it seems so simplistic. Like Ryan said, you cranked out your 3,700 meals. I mean, when I went, I think we did 4,000, and we got done on that Tuesday. We got done at like 9:00. And we did the 4,000. And Joey Wilson, I don't know, did you see Joey Wilson? That he was the big guy with the beard, but anyway, maybe he was gone. Maybe he was there. But anyway, Joey was there when I was there, and we did the 4,000. And I said, "Oh, Joe," I said, "that's not bad." I said, "That's 4,000. It's only 9:00. And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Just think, when we have everything that we have," he said, "we've put out 40,000 by 9:00. So it's like, it just goes so quick, that you're doing things, you get it. Everybody gets in a rhythm. And, Ryan's done 4,000 meals. He's fed 4,000 people. And then, the last deployment I came home from, it was very emotional, because I had crossed over from all my deployments. I had crossed over the 1 million meal mark for myself. And when you sit there and, the day before I left Tallahassee, it's like you sit there and just think, it's like, I've been doing this since 2018. I've had the hand in feeding 1 million people. And it just, you don't understand. It's hard to pick. And then you start picturing, like, what does 1 million look like? How many is 1 million? And it's just, you start putting suburbs and towns together, and it's just kind of like, holy shit, these volunteers and everybody that are here busting their bank, they're feeding a lot of people. It just seems so effortless because the system is so down, but it's just like, you're feeding a lot of people.
You're sitting there and you're going, oh, we had carnitas, is what they were making on Sunday. And they're taking it and chopping it up and throwing it in the bag, and we're locking it up and zip tying it and putting the Cambro, and you're like, okay. You put it off to the side, and you throw up the next one. Next thing you know, there's, I think there was like 10 Cambros of carnitas, and you're like, holy shit. Like, that's, there's 200 servings in each Cambro.
Yeah.
Of carnitas, and it was, yeah, I had to sit back, but it was nice. I mean, we were just there having a good time, enjoying ourselves, doing what we were doing. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, this is, the people that would, because it's not only just a food line where you're at cooking, for those that haven't done it. That was my first experience. It's the churches and like that are coming in and picking up these Cambros to take them to other places and throwing them in the back of Skeeter's truck and Emlyn, and they're going this way, this one's going this way, this one's going over here, and then you're still
Skeeter actually was Skeeter there?
Yeah.
Skeeter Stone, that dog was there?
Yeah. Skeeter and Steve Johnson.
I don't know Steve Johnson. I know I've worked with Skeeter down in Tallahassee. And then obviously Emlyn is I obviously do a lot with Emlyn because he's the state person. Yeah, no, I don't. I probably I don't know.
That's Skeeter. This was Steve.
Oh, Steve Anderson.
Steve Anderson. Yeah. Yes, Anderson.
Steve Anderson is probably he's probably one of the greatest guys. Steve Anderson and I met in Port Charlotte. Was the first time I worked with Steve Anderson, and he is an absolutely amazing volunteer. That group down in Port Charlotte.
Your buddy Emlyn.
There's Emlyn. Nice.
And let's see. This was the vegetables.
Oh, did you do vegetables, or were you? I only really do protein.
Claudio's. I was just getting a video of Claudio taking all the green beans and stuff.
How many tilts do you have? 2 tilt skillets there, or did they just have one?
Just one.
They had one when I was there.
At the inside of the smokers.
That's actually that one is actually Chris Wilson's Southern Pride, I think, smoker. He dropped that off today.
Yeah, I got this. This video is coming out, and then I'll stop. But it's me bring it out. Oh, we did meatballs too.
Yeah. Well, you had a good time, and that's and for anybody who wants to volunteer, 2 things I always it is a good time for what you're doing, but as Ryan just mentioned and talked about, I do recommend anybody who's volunteering for the first time that you do meal distribution. To where, for bigger disasters like hurricanes, sometimes they go and they'll actually walk the streets and hand out meals, or they'll set up the tent like they did at the Walmart and they'll hand out meals. But I recommend anybody, you need to know where the stuff is going. You need to see the emotional. Like I said, I've seen it. This is the first time I've done it in a while because I've seen it. It's very emotional to see these people who are coming to get this, and because it can be very. So I know as I'm producing the food in my head, I'm seeing 2018 and the people that are receiving the food, so I know where it's going. But you need to do that. If you're a new time volunteer, I recommend that for everybody because you need to know why you're doing what you're doing and how it affects those that you're giving the meals to. Because even when I was there, it was brisket. It was shredded. It was shredded brisket and veggies. I mean, it's not a really complicated barbecue meal, but these people were just so grateful. They haven't had power in a week, and they were just happy to have a hot meal. And the thanks that they got. Oh, there's Larry Mush. Yeah. Poor Larry. He's been there. He was there every day. So if you go volunteer, I think, if you're into barbecue and you're looking to give back, Operation Barbecue Relief, signing up as a volunteer, you don't have to I travel all over when I can to do it. You don't have to do that. You can do smaller ones like Ryan did if they're in your area. Hopefully they're not in your area because that usually means something bad happened. Or they do a lot of, they call it their Now Serving program where they'll go and feed firefighters, or they'll go. And so there's tons of events that you can sign up for that you don't have to travel all over. Hurricanes are kind of my thing. I like to, if it's a hurricane and it's a big disaster, I like to be there to help make as many. The most I've made in a day is 53,000 meals in one day, and work with the volunteers to do that. And that's kind of what I get geared up for, that kind of stuff. So,
All right.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Your bubble's broken, so now maybe you'll get to more if you can, and
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's a lot easier with your kids being older and being able to get away, and trying to plan a little party on a weekend here. And there's this going on and this going on, and this one doesn't work for this person, doesn't work for this person, and there's just it's a lot right now.
well, I can tell you, now you just need to go for a week, and you can stay in the bunk houses in the little cubes, and then shower in the shower trailer and live in a parking lot in 95-degree heat and enjoy yourself. It's a good, and then not only that, it's the people. Obviously, you got to meet all those great people that you just showed me, and it's the people that you meet. I got friends all across the country that from doing this, and so it's just such a neat thing. And to what Amy was saying earlier about the uniqueness of the barbecue community, that's when I really realized the barbecue community, because when I went down there the first time in 2018, I didn't know was coming from Chicago. A lot of these people were from Florida. They were from I got a couple from my friend Chris was from Indiana, but a lot of them were Kansas City. They were Tennessee's. They were this and that. And by the end of the first night, when we all sat around after everything was done and we would sit and talk and stuff, it was like you've known these people forever. It's like they were just that open. They were just that kind. Everybody it's just weird how barbecue people, you can be a stranger and within minutes, you feel like you've known them forever.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. I love how I'm trying to lean off the screen and I cough and I go here because I'm looking at the Instagram side that you can't see me on, but not even thinking that it's the full screen here. I'm like, oh, you can't see me. Well,
it was funny. We were watching that barbecue brawl, because sometimes I like to watch the old shows just to see who I know on the show, and if they're on the shows. But it was funny because Susie Bullock was on that show, and I said, oh yeah, that's Susie Bullock. I said, she's been on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And of course, Leanne Whippen was there. And I said, oh, that's Leanne Whippen. She's been on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And then Joe Pierce from Slaps was on there. And I said, oh, that's Joe from Slaps. He's been on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And then, of course, Amy was on. And I said, well, Amy was on live from Barbecue Department of Wanamaker's, but she's going to be on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat in a couple of weeks. And then we got to, for some reason, season 2 skips. And then season 3 comes on. And Sunny's on. And then it's just she's like, is that Sunny? And I said, yeah, that's Sunny. She's been on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And she's like, how have you had all these people that are on these Food Network shows on your show, and you say that nobody watches it? And I said, well, because it's what happens. I said,
we still have one person hanging out with
It's probably you or me.
No, but I think it's on the Thursday Night Barbecue Chat Facebook page.
Oh, is it? Well, maybe it's Happy Pappy. So anyway, so if you are watching and you want to be a guest on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, just message Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, and we'll see if it'll work. Terry White, there's Terry White. Have you always been here? Or yeah, but he just sign in, or has he been on here for a while?
No, he said hello earlier.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did back in the beginning. Where back at 7:12, he said, "Good evening, everyone."
I'm sorry, Terry.
It's not registering on because he's not. The little YouTube symbol, but it's not showing anybody on YouTube. Oh well, Terry, we appreciate you always being here, brother.
There's 4 people. So if you're somebody that wants to be on, if you want to be on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, let me know. Or like I said, just message Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, and then we can see if we can work something out. Speaking of which, we are going to have next week, Ryan. Next week we are in September. Believe it or not, September 3rd. I have to send out a reminder, so hopefully this will be our guest. So we are going to go from Amy Mills, one of the big names, female names in barbecue, to Leslie Rourke Scott. She's going to be making her second appearance on Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. I don't even want to go back and see when her what the number was of her original visit, probably like episode like 40 or 30 or something like that. She's going to be our guest next week. She is with Ubon's Barbecue, and she was just recently on Pitmasters.
The greatest barbecue chat that everyone
watches. I wish. You know what? I would love to have. I watch Meathead do his show sometimes on. When I don't know if he still does the Thursday night. And he used to do fire like a fireside chat type of thing on Thursday, like the last Thursday of the month. I don't know if he still does that or not, but I remember watching some of his shows and just seeing like 25, 30, like 40, like 30 to 40 people on it at one time. That was kind of neat. But get on there, follow. Speaking of which, follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
32.
She was episode 32.
Episode 32.
Wow, we've come a long way, baby, since she's been on last time. So
looking here's the fantasy with all the other, but
we gotta wait for it to focus in. It won't focus for some reason.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah, there she is.
But that's back when we look at the old logo.
I know, that's back when we had the old, before the Mr. Gallo came up with the new logo.
Oh,
and then
who was 33 though?
Who?
Him.
Huh?
Tim Shear.
I love Tim Shear. Tim Shear is one of my favorite barbecue people.
Patrick Springer was another good member. He's like, hey, can you guys help? Show this video some love. I'm trying to get Blues Hog as a sponsor. I was like, oh, you want me to call Tim for you?
And if you're interested in being a sponsor of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat, also
sponsors are opening up soon for new sponsors for 2027.
Not all new. I mean, we'll take some new, but we're going to try. We like our sponsors that we already have.
For the new year is what I meant.
For the new year, for 2027, I will probably start reaching out probably sometime next month so that everything's all tied up and ready to go for 2027. So believe it or not, we're talking about 2027. And but yeah, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to Thursday Night Barbecue Chat on YouTube. YouTube's a dog. Man, it's hard to get subscribers on YouTube. Jesus. It's like pulling teeth.
It is. Oh, well, we'll get there.
But I appreciate all of you. But anyway, thank you, everybody, for signing in. Thank you again to Amy Mills from 17th Street Barbecue. If you see 17th Street Barbecue products anywhere, especially Wanamaker's, pick some up and support 17th Street Barbecue. They are still a small local business in my mind. Thank you to her for taking time out of her day. And she had 348 people there. And I will say, I mean, I know people in Illinois probably will understand, but the governor was there and she came to spend time with Thursday Night Barbecue Chat.
Yeah.
So
I'd go spend time with somebody else too. Anyways, guys, we will see you next week. Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. We're out of here. Have a good night. Take care. See y'all later. Bye.